is running the show at CG and who approved this flood of announcements we are getting? This is crazy. We have so many announcements coming down the pipeline today. I don't know how to handle them. They're all connected to Padme, and I'm going to talk about them. And first of all, what I want to get out of the way here is what I never thought I would be saying in this game, and that is that I think I miss marquee events. Look, I love the legendary events, but we've been it's like the exact opposite of what we had last year at this time, where it was just marquee after marquee after marquee, and now we're getting legendary journey, legendary after legendary journey, and this new gear is really kind of what is getting me on it. And you guys have seen Padme's kit by now. Definitely a solid kit. I've been able to do some testing with this. I've been able to do some testing with Anakin. I don't know if there's any changes are going to be made, but if the version I was testing is what you guys are going to end up seeing, as far as all the tuning is concerned, I think you're going to be really happy with this kit. It's not going to overthrow Darth Revan by any means, nor should it, but definitely doing justice, I think, to a very key character in the meta, or in the lore. And holy crap, her base speed 170. You know, there's a lot to be happy about here, but they're getting us on the gear again, and they've done this. I think it was 200 of these new salvage pieces for Revan, and 400 for Malak, and now we got 300. We got 300 for Padme. Here, we'll go to the gear levels here. They start right here. You got your 100 of the Cryotech Shock Prod, and then the next level, there's some more of it, and then the next level, there's some more of it. So that's 300 total for Padme. And so since they released this new kind of gear for Darth Revan, we have needed to farm 900 of these. I feel like the guy in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 9 times 100. And I don't know. I mean, look, I will, you know, tip my cap to CG for finding new ways to make money in this game, because the marquee model did get exhausted. But I feel like we need a balance, too, of, you know, marquee versus legendary, or something. At least the, you know, the Galactic Chase events. But whatever the case is, I mean, tell me if I'm off base, guys. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. But we got more stuff coming down the pipeline right now. Other than that, I think that's kind of a small complaint, because overall I'm really excited about Padme coming. We do have a little explanation here that came with how protection up works. This is from Crumb. I think this is worth noting, and then we'll get into, we've got some new changes to Anakin's kit. He's getting a Zeta! Woo! New Zeta for Anakin. We kind of called that, right? That's kind of been implied. And look at this. So with Padme's kit, we wanted to discuss how protection up works, blah, blah, blah. There's 4 rules here. Number 1, protection up is always based on current max health. That was confirmed somewhere before, if I recall, but now we've got it in this forum post. And so then he does some simple math there. So protection up is, you know, calculated based on what the max health is. Rule 2. By default, protection up is not intended to stack with other protection up from the same source, i.e. ability. And so on occasion, we will allow protection up to stack with others from the same source. When we decide that it should stack with itself, we call it out in the ability description as stacking. So basically, protection up isn't going to stack unless it says it's going to stack. So you get 2 examples here. When Grandmaster Yoda uses Master Stroke to copy protection up, then uses Battle Meditation and gains protection up, he will have 2 protection up because they are generated from different sources. Insightful. When Grandmaster Yoda uses Battle Meditation, he first gains protection up, and then all other allies, including himself, protection up because he has one, or grants all allies a protection up because he has one. This second protection up replaces the first protection up generated by the ability because they both come from the same source, and the ability is not specified as such. And as a result of this, General Kenobi's Zeta upgrade on his unique will trigger, and he will taunt if all allies were Galactic Republic at the start of the battle. All right, rule number 3, protection up from a source will replace any current protection up that the source on that from that source that unit has, unless a protection up stacks. So they use Ahsoka Tano here as a Fulcrum as a example. And then rule 4, protection up will protect against damage in the order the effects were applied. So for example, Grandmaster Yoda uses Master Stroke. He copies Protection Up, then uses Battle Meditation to grant Protection Up to all allies, while both Protection Up buffs remain on Yoda. Next time he takes damage, the Protection Up created by Master Stroke will be used first. If any damage exceeds the value of that Protection Up, it will then be applied to the Protection Up created by Battle Meditation. Clear as mud. Go check out the post if you want to consult Crumb for more details, and I'm sure that there's more discussion going on around. All right, let's talk about Anakin ZETA. So we already got a change on April 17th. We see those changes in this post highlighted in green. We've got some new blue changes, which are going to basically tie directly to Padme's kit. And so basically on his first special, Overpowering Assault, we love that ability now. He's going to grant, we already know what he does. But basically, if Padme Amidala is an ally, dispel all buffs on all enemies. So very nice. So this is now going to be a mass dispel if Padme Amidala is there. I like that. And then we got his unique Righteous Fury. Now, this does have a slight nerf built into it, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference personally because of where you're probably going to want to run Anakin anyway. More than anything, it's just going to take Jedi Revan out of the mix. So we've got the exact same thing. He's got a Zeta now. And so, Anakin, I know it was sad. You were at the Rework Council. You were able to sit on the council, but you weren't granted the rank of Zeta. Well, congratulations. Now you're granted the rank of Zeta. And there's not a big change here, but a significant text add that he gets that bonus turn and deals 100% more damage only if all allies were Galactic Republic at the start of the battle. And I don't know if CG came up with that or if they got that from community feedback, but that was a common suggestion I saw to kind of mitigate this crazy damage that Anakin was dealing. And I think that's a fair compromise in lieu of getting this massive nerf that was going to render him useless. And then it adds this. If Padme Amidala is an ally, she takes a bonus turn after each of Anakin's bonus turns. And so Padme is going to get a lot more attacking under Anakin, or when we got Anakin in there. And so very nice. I like these additions. It's subtle. It's not undermining Anakin too much, and it's definitely creating some tighter synergy between Anakin and Padme that you're definitely going to want to take advantage of. We also have a developer insight blog here where Crumb basically interviews CG_Fugitive here about the creation of Padme Amidala, the kit. And I think it's actually really interesting. I'm not going to read this whole thing to you because it's actually quite lengthy. He gives a little bit of rationale basically on why they designed her kit the way she did. They show some synergies again on how to use her. They give a highlight on mods, obviously speed. I mean, when you see a character with 170 speed on them, I mean, one of the fastest characters in the game, it's a pretty good indicator you're probably going to want to have speed on them, but frankly, you want to have speed on 99% of the characters in this game. And it's interesting, they actually even ask who should go first in the battle out of these, and he calls out turn order, which is something I haven't seen before in a dev interaction that I've seen, at least, to actually call out turn order. So that is very interesting. I'm thinking I'd probably want Padme to go first, especially you want to get that protection up. As you guys know, that's going to help prevent a lot of those debuffs. And then we've also got this graphic here, which we all love the art. Whoever does the art at CG, love the stuff that you pump out. And this one, I think this is beautiful. This looks exactly like Natalie Portman. This is a great event artwork, and you've got the arena back there. And I mean, I'm just gonna be fully transparent with you guys. I've had the hots for Padme ever since I was like, 15 years old, and so woo, it's Padme, baby. We also have this post from CG Carrie, which I think is a really interesting post, very transparent, where she's going to kind of talk a little bit about the next month. And in particular, she reflects back on the Darth Malak and Jedi Knight Anakin, or the Darth Malak event and the Jedi Anakin rework. The intention was to create a long-term chase character outside the fixed raids events like raids and territory battles. Many people went after Darth Malak right away, and she calls out 882. That is an extremely specific number. So 882 players got Darth Malak on his first go-around who had never spent a single cent in this game. So she called out the exact amount of people who got Darth Malak without spending a dime. Very interesting. Then she goes on to talk about the Jedi Anakin tune-up and General Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano. which reflected a different kind of release. Then, of course, she goes on and discusses that we are going to see a little bit of changes to Anakin, which we've already discussed, and kind of gives the rationale for that. And then based on feedback from the last month, she goes on to talk about how we're going to do testing going forward and how we're going to give better notice. And so for the testing, I want to read this because I think these paragraphs are actually pretty interesting. Testing, we've always utilized player feedback and testing on top of our initial testing groups, but as the game gets older and exceeding more complicated, which is very true, the methods that have worked before don't seem to be holding up, which I think is kind of understandable to a degree because the game has gotten extremely more complicated and there's a lot more characters in here. To that end, with Padme, we did a slightly larger character playtest. I was a part of it, consisting of a group of about 35 members of the community to hammer on different premonitions of the character and squads of where she fits. This group provided a lot of helpful bug feedback, blah, 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 got a good character, blah. Notice, while we don't intend to pre-release info about all characters far in advance, we'd like to dial back on the feeding that you have no idea what's coming. Thank you. I think that feedback comes directly from Malak because with Malak in particular, it was just out of freaking nowhere. And still, 882 free-to-play players. Tip of the cap to you for still staying on top of it. To that end, we wanted to let you know that later in May, we are going to be releasing the reworks of Count Dooku and Newt Gunray. Huh! Later in May. That's like a month notice. These characters are meant to fit into the territory battle specifically, and Newt Gunray is getting a significant rework that we will share closer to his rework and may result in some manner of refund for current investments. So, very interesting. And then she says, while we won't be able to reveal every other character well in advance, we will endeavor to do it best we can, which will hopefully give you all some, hopefully give you all some understanding of expectations. I'll note that there was new Marquee / Galactic Chase characters planned for May, which will likely get moved out. Lots of transparency here. So at the moment, absent of that single Marquee / Chase, there are no other characters planned in May. So you can have time to focus on gearing the characters that you have acquired recently and planning on your next in-game moves. I think that's fantastic. I think right now, I don't know about you guys, I feel like there's not nearly enough time to farm everything that I need to farm. And then finally, she talks about response. As may be apparent with Jedi Anakin and many other releases, there can be strong and extreme responses, both at the time of the kit reveal and the launch of the character. We're very emotional, basically. And with JKA, we wanted to let you know that we are actively investigating a character's power, and while that is always the case, we will try to do a better job communicating when this happens with hot topics so that you can know. Often as the dust settles, as has with JKA, we find that characters performing near where we expected and changes, if needed, are minor. What we ask of you is some consideration of that when evaluating new characters, and when in doubt, don't get them until you're confident sure you want them. I think that's pretty fair. And then they go on to say that we are going to be getting some May the 4th gifts, which they're going to announce tomorrow. Yippee, those have been pretty exciting in the past. So, in summary, lots and lots of information here to digest. I think I'm really happy with the amount of communication here. I think we got a little bit fire-hosed today, CG. I don't know. They just must have had somebody in there saying, go now! They just post everything. All right, but, you know, I'm not super happy about Padme's gear requirements. I'm kind of tired of that gear. I think that, you know, it kind of made sense maybe with, you know, Darth Revan, with one of the hardest characters to get ever in Malak, but with Padme, I mean, come on, are we going to have this with every new character? But other than that, I really appreciate the amount of transparency we're getting here, and I think this is pointing the game in a good direction. I want to see more of this. I'm anxious to see what comes, and also what these May the 4th gifts are going to be. And I am excited about Padme. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer about the gear issue, because overall, I think her kit looks fantastic. I'm really excited about her kit, legitimately, and especially how Anakin's going to get that Zeta. I think it's going to be really fun to see how they interact together. Well, I've kind of already seen how they interact together, but, you know, assuming that tuning holds, I think you guys are going to be really happy, and so look forward to that event coming soon, and I will be posting videos of hopefully unlocking Padme. Hopefully my Separatists are going to hold up for that event. I'm not sure if they will or not. I don't have B1 or Droideka. I've got Grievous, but after that, it's like Asajj and Dooku. Hopefully, they can hold with General Grievous. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.
My dead body. promise.